Hello, everybody. As you can see, Sylvia and my name is Peter. We are already having a laugh because we have chosen to talk to you and to ourselves about a topic that has come up recently in the news, and I wasn't prepared for it, and Sylvia wasn't either. So we've had a bit of a laugh because what is this all about? Men should have therapy. Yep, a lot of talk has been made about that. But the twist on this one is that dating apps are now seeing a trend where women are expecting, are wanting men who have therapy, have had, or are in therapy. And it's even something that you can now fill in on your profile that that's what is going on. So I just wonder, is that now a criterion for being a man that you have therapy? Is it even necessary? So, to those of you out there who are dating and are on dating apps, we really wanted to hear from you about this. Ladies out there, do you pick the man on the dating app based on whether he has therapy or has had therapy?
As people could probably see, we were having a bit of a giggle when we started because I don't know where you get these things from, Peter, but I know it was in one of the leading
Sunday Times.
The Sunday Times. I've never been on a dating app, so I don't know what the criteria are. The question, should men be in therapy? My response would be, should is a dangerous word. And should they be in therapy? Perhaps only if they need to. Me personally, this is my opinion, no is the answer. And if I was on a dating app, would it be a criteria I would be looking at? No would be the answer. And I think what's going on in my head is, why would someone want someone to be in therapy? Different if it's therapy because there is some fundamental struggle going on, for want of a better phrase, and it would be good, would like to have some extra support and help, then yes, of course. But if we're talking in terms of like general day-to-day, mentoring perhaps, coaching perhaps, but not everyone needs those things, in my opinion. A lot of people are very comfortable with who they are and what they stand for. And is it a prerequisite to being in a relationship? No. And what about the woman? Is she in therapy as well? Or is she expecting the male to be in therapy and she's not? I find this really interesting because I'd never heard of it before. And this is why we were having a bit of a giggle to start with, because I'd never heard of it. I don't think you've ever heard of it, Peter, but no is my answer. I wouldn't think, oh yes, I need to have that guy in therapy before I even dated him. It's something wouldn't even enter my head.
I think it comes from a desire to have men who are more in tune with their feelings. So not the strong, silent type. So talk dark and handsome, the old sort of stereotype is apparently not enough anymore. You also have to be emotionally competent and considerate. But is it not about creating someone in your own image? That there's a lot of anti-men, anti-women, so that we're fighting each other out there in the world as it is, instead of let's try and figure out who we are and how we can work together. So it's women in business for women only, and it's women against men, and men's football versus women's football, and there's a lot of fighting going on. And now, if this is a trend or if it's a blip, I don't know. But if women are trying to pick men only if they have therapy, well, that's a kind of control, isn't it? And nobody wants to be controlled. And do you become a better man just because you're having therapy? Well, as you said earlier, Sylvia, for what?
Mm.
There has to be a need. It's not something you just go and spend some time with a person having a chat about world politics or whatever. There has to be a need. And yeah, I think more men should. It would be good for them and therefore the world in general. But making it a a must on the item list, tick, 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 tick list. Yeah, I want to date him. I find that troubling.
Interesting too how you use the analogy, the tall, dark, handsome man, not in touch with them, their feelings, that preconception doesn't mean that they're not. Just because they're tall, dark, and handsome and appear strong, they may well be in touch with their own self, emotionally intelligent, whatever phraseology you wish to use. Why do people assume then that person, tall, dark, and handsome, I want someone that's in touch with their feelings? Because the first one may be as well. It's an interesting, misperception, preconception as well. But yes, and just reiterate my point. I think, if people would need, and see that being in therapy would help them. To your point, Peter, yes, I totally agree that perhaps more men would benefit from speaking up. The suicide rate in males is very, very high. But to make it a prerequisite to be in a relationship, as I said earlier, what does that say about the woman? What is it that she wants from that relationship? To almost put like a prerequisite on that relationship. It's a bit of an odd one for me. Not something that I would choose if ever I was on a dating app. No.
But thinking about it, I do have a male client who's said to me in the very first session, my wife is on this self-development journey and she wants me to join it.
Mm-hmm.
And he wasn't particularly keen on joining it. But he was seeing me anyway, and there was good reason for that. But he just didn't quite get this whole self-development discovery thing. And if I was on a dating app these days, I never was because it didn't exist, but I was in a dating agency. We didn't talk about these things. Well, you can always tick the box. Yes, I am. You can always answer the questions in a way that you think will make yourself more pickable, for if that's a term. So you can always claim that, oh yes, I'm having therapy. Without having that, you can fake that. So what's the whole point? So I just think it's an interesting new tick box on the list of things that women are looking for.
It's an interesting one too, isn't it? What is it that they are looking for? What is it that they want the guy to be in therapy? For what purpose? For what reason? Is it because they want them, in touch with their feminine side, or more sort of emotionally intelligent? Or I wonder what's the purpose behind wanting the other side to be in therapy?
I think you just hit the head on the nail there. It's not that they want the man to have problems. I think they want him to be able to understand her. So that if you are in touch with your, call it the feminine side, your emotional side, your whatever, the softer side of, I can't believe I even said that, side of yourself.
You big soft marshmallow, you, Peter.
Then maybe there's a chance that there will be a psychologically and emotionally better fit, and that she can be vulnerable and he can be vulnerable, and it's okay. I just wonder if that is the direction that it is meant to be going. I can just see this as well, being used and abused in so many ways. And isn't that one of the questions that you talk about maybe on the second or third date? Why does it have to be an upfront thing?
Yes.
Do you now also have to account for your medical?
Yeah, it doesn't form part of the small chat normally, does it?
Do you also have to fill in your medical history to account for whether you are close to a heart attack or you're diabetic, or it's like getting a little bit too complicated, I think.
Yes, and it's, you know, my offer, like, just keep things simple. You know, it's not something that would crop up for me in the first, you know, it wouldn't be at the top of the criteria. There's something perhaps to explore later on, but not right at the beginning. And, you know, and perhaps there's the other side as well, you know, a woman who knows what she wants. She knows what she wants from a relationship. She knows how she'd like the other, you know, other side to behave. To your point there, you know, someone who wants to be on a self-development journey, wants some other on a similar journey. So, you know, you're on the same path, you're not pulling against each other. There is that angle as well, you know, that people becoming more aware of who they are, what they want, and what they want over a relationship. Because, as you say, if they want someone who's, you know, in therapy, those guys are not in therapy, they won't fit the bill. You know, let's be honest with that. So it's a very interesting development in the dating world, and also in general, what women potentially, and men, because you wonder what the other side is going to think about this too. You know, what are the guys going to think about? You know, if one of the criteria to be in a relationship, you need to be in therapy. That's going to be an interesting one for our audience to address.
What I'm going to do something very unscientific. I have 4 female clients at the moment who are all on dating apps, and I'm going to run this idea by them and just gauge what they're thinking. And there's a couple of men as well I can ask. And of course, this is all going to be confidential, but just for my own curiosity, I really want to hear what the feedback is. And as always, Sylvia and I would like your feedback on what I've been rambling on about here. So enjoy the rest of your day. And thank you for watching this video. And we really love to hear from you about the dating thing.
Yes.
See you later.
See you later. Bye-bye.